Alright guys, so this tutorial is where we're going to work on getting our files from our media browser onto our timeline and starting to get them arranged. So in the last tutorial I showed you all you got to do is click and drag to the box over here to your timeline, and this is going to start your timeline. So you're going to notice you have 3 channels marked V1 through 3 and 3 channels here marked A1 through 3. V channels are for video, A channels are for audio. These little locks right here we'll talk about later, but basically clicking on them will prevent any edits being done to that channel. So if you have your base done and you don't want to mess with it, then that's what you would click. But for right now, we're going to leave that alone. Let's talk about how to get files on here. First off, I clicked and dragged this first one, and as you can see, that's the first video that's going to play. My playhead, I can click and drag it and kind of watch it. After that, I can pick my second one, click and drag, and he shows up right there, and I can put him right next to it, and so on and so forth. As far as all these videos that I have, I can kind of pick what I think is going to look best in order and arrange them as such right next to each other. So once I've got a couple things on here, you'll notice this scroll bar down here at the bottom. This scroll bar is going to kind of go throughout the length of our project. You know, all this space over here is obviously blank. We can see the time markers up here, 6 minutes and 59 seconds, 7 minutes and 14 seconds. Obviously we're not that far, so we scroll back to the beginning. And you'll notice that the space between these dots at the end of the bar kind of far apart. That means I'm zoomed out. If I grab them and pull them even farther apart, I zoom even further away. But if I want to get really close, because these are really kind of short clips, I want to bring them closer together. And as I do that, the clips show up larger. So that way, if I'm wanting to do any edits to a smaller piece, I can get closer to it and I can see that. So you notice here we've got 4 videos in a row, and some things to kind of help myself if I'm editing here. First off, for my particular project, I'm not going to use 3 audio channels. I'm going to use 2. I'm going to use the audio that's attached to the video, and I might put a background song. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click on A3 and I'm going to delete the track. Now, if while I'm editing I decide I need that 3rd channel back, I can always right click on one of my audio channels and go to add a track, but I don't think I'm going to need it. Same way with my video. I'm going to have the video and I might put like one type of thing over the top of it, one effect. So I'm going to get rid of my V3 as well. And same way, if I find out that, if I find out that I need it, then I can always bring it back. So this is going to give us a little more space, and here's what I was wanting to show you. The audio track you don't really need to zoom in on, so we're going to kind of drag him down a little bit. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag up the top of my first V1. And you'll notice as I do that, it starts to let me see the icons of the videos that I put down on the line. And for me, this is really helpful when I'm editing, because then I can remember exactly what clip was what, because sometimes I don't remember what I named them. And I can do the same thing to V2, even though there's nothing on there. That way when I get to V2, I can see what I put on there. So if I'm playing with this and I want to watch it, there is my play button up here. And as I hit play, I can see everything going through. I can decide if I like it or not. So as I was watching, I kind of felt like this clip maybe is a little long. Maybe I want to shorten it. If I'm clicked on this clip, you see it's highlighted in white, and I go right to the end and I hover my mouse, I get this little bracket in red with a left arrow. If I click and hold and I drag it to here, it will make that video shorter. It'll stop there. And then now I have this white space that I need to get rid of. So if I click on the white space, this white box pops up, And if I right click, I can ripple delete, which deletes any blank spaces that might be happening in between my clips, and it puts everything together. So one more thing before we end this tutorial, because right now we're keeping it real slow, we're keeping it basic so we're not getting confused. We have the second video channel. So right now I don't have any effects, but I do think I would like to put some text. So I'm going to use my type tool, and I'm going to click on, let's see, I want my text to show up right as my video starts. So I'm going to click here, and I am going to type welcome to my village. So you'll notice now in video 2, this box right here has popped up because now this is our second layer or our second video channel. And it's going to show up over the top of your other videos. So think of these channels for videos as stacking blocks. The first one is going to be what's going to go in the very background. The next one is going to stack on top of it. And then as we add more channels, more things will stack. Once I have that though, I can move him wherever I want him to go. I can resize him. And we'll talk more about changing the font and all those other effects in a later tutorial. This is just basically how to get some things on there. And the last thing I'm going to add is going to be some music. So I have 2 music files over here. One is a WAV, one is an MP3, and I'm going to click and drag and put that guy underneath my video. So now when I click play, you get more of the full effect. If you have music on there and you're trying to play through and you don't want to hear it, you can come down to the audio channel you don't want to hear and click the M, and all that will do is just mute it while you're editing. And sometimes this is a little easier, so that way you're not having to listen to the same sound over and over again, but you just don't want to delete it. When you're done, you can unclick the M and it'll start playing again. Same way for the video channels. If you're editing something and I don't want this text in the way, but I also don't want to delete it, I can click this I and it'll disappear. It's still there. It's just I'm hiding it from view. And now I can bring it back. All the time while you're working though, you saw it kind of pop up a second ago, was an autosave. Make sure you are saving frequently. So after I've added all this, I don't want to accidentally lose it because that was a lot of stuff to add. I'm going to go File, and I'm going to go Save. Notice that I can also use my hotkeys. I can use Control S to save at any time. So that's our basics for getting things on the timeline. It always has to be here in our media browser. And from there, it is just clicking and dropping where we would like. Go ahead and arrange your video. Try and use as many of the files in the practice as you can. Be creative, make them look nice, make them, don't put them necessarily in the order that they show. Try and figure out what would be the best arrangement for you to put these guys in so that way the video looks visually appealing.